I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
Iron Maiden.
It looks like it's a live show.
A trillion apologies. We posted the
Aerosmith, crazy.
Yeah. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm sure you had fun with it. Those of you who are not, you didn't have fun with it. And there's nothing really we can do at this point. Okay? But
we accidentally reviewed it twice. But I'm actually curious to go back and see what we said about the first review.
Well, I'm pretty certain we didn't watch the official video. So, I think the video was carrying the day in the previous video.
But when I listened to it, I kept thinking, this is kind of familiar.
Yeah, I didn't really remember hearing it at all, to be honest with you. Shows how much of a fan I am. But neither way, this is Iron Maiden Revelations. This is a Sin and Glory group. So you guys will notice that most reaction channels will cut up their videos, and there's nothing wrong with that. No disrespect to them. The reason they do that is because if you play the video straight through from top to bottom, the record label is going to hit you with a copyright claim, and all the monetization that was going to go to you now goes to them. So most reaction channels cut them up. We don't cut them up because we feel it's better to just feel the experience of the music and all that. And yeah, we're losing money on that end, but on the other end, we figure people are going to be willing to do $1, a month at Patreon, and that'll help us to be able to, continue to remain solvent. So, with that in mind, $1 gets you at the gate of Patreon. You get to join an alliance, which is what is happening here. Sin and Glory is an alliance, and they influence what songs we review. Now, you can do the filthy capitalist option, which is $125, gets you pushed right to the head of the line and prioritized. But that's your decision. All right, so let's check it out. This is, what is it again? Iron Maiden Revelations. Let's go.
And go.
Oh, it's live.
Any of you remember an album called The Number of the Beast by any chance?
Look at that belt buckle.
Well, this song is not actually on that album, right? It's on the album Peace of Mind, but you might remember on the Number of the Beast album, we got all this crap from people about being, what was it, devil worshippers and all that kind of stuff and everything over here. Are Iron Maiden satanic? The answer is no, we're not. And we wish these people would go and fuck off and die or crawl into a corner or something, Climbing on my tits and making a nuisance of themselves. Right, here's a song of the Peace of Mind album called Revelations This Road!
Well, he said it.
Let me see your hands in the air! Oh, yeah! The secret of the hangman, the smile on his lips. The light of the blind, he'll stay. The men of gas must stay. The end of the day, opening, you'll see. Los Angeles, can you feel it? She came to me with a serpent's kiss. It's the eye of the sun rose on her lips. Moonlight captured 7 tears. When I cry, so we lay in a blanket voice. And the sun is down in a holy flame. In a bush, in the waiting for the dead. The light of the blind, you'll stay. The minute death must stay. The eyes of the veil, opening, you'll see.
This guy's rocking.
Wow, this was one of my favorites.
One of the best. Are you sure it's because this is one of your favorites, or is it because we haven't heard them in quite some time?
I don't know. I don't know. I was asking myself the same thing. And the other thing is, this is a live show. I feel like this is like one of the earliest shows we've seen.
85?
By them.
Probably.
You know?
Probably. And by the way, because a lot of people ask, why are you guys playing the live version? Okay, this is the other thing about being in an alliance, because not only does the alliance get to pick which song, but the alliance also gets to pick which video.
Mm-hmm. They send us the link.
So they specifically sent us this one. I don't know why. Me personally, I'm a fan of live metal.
I think this one is obvious why they sent this one.
Right. Like, when I say I don't know why, it's not because it wasn't a good video. It was because, you know, a lot of people want us to do the studio.
Yeah.
But maybe they know how much I love Iron Maiden and
This
how much
is
I
just,
like it live.
I think that the talent that was shown in this was just incredible. They had such amazing stage presence. This show itself looked really fun to be at. I like the energy that he brought at the beginning when he was like talking about the beast one that they had done and how people came after them and said that they were, of the devil or wicked or something like that.
To this day, because we did a review of Number of the Beast or whatever, and I started off the comment saying, "Oh, they're devil worshippers," and like 2 minutes later, I was like, "They're not really. This has nothing to do with the devil, in my opinion." And I was like, "Oh, just joking." And like to this day, our main fans are like, "They're not devil worshippers."
Well, keep listening to the review.
We've done Behemoth and Kernel of Filth,
right.
and said that they weren't satanic. We knew, but I didn't know the big homie had that type of an attitude.
I didn't either.
I thought he was always kind of like a nice guy, and I'm sure he is a nice guy. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy. I mean, people get fed up of BS, I'm sure. But I just didn't think he had that type of energy. But, sometimes.
Doesn't he look like a character from, like, that you would see in someone's toy box? Like those Hercules characters, and like there's a series that I'm thinking of, and I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I can see
but
that.
But it's like these black pants. It shows all like the muscles in his legs and I don't know, and like his hair and everything. Like he just looked like a pretty cool character. Yeah. But anyway,
I think this was like, I think the Satanic Panic was about like 5 years into making it. When was this? 1983, subhanAllah.
This guy in the striped outfit, the white and black striped outfit, it took me till halfway through the show to realize he wasn't wearing a sports bra. I was extremely confused why this man was wearing a sports bra. I thought this was his belly. So I was like, why is he wearing that sports bra? And that, subhanAllah, that thing looks too small. It looks like it's up too high. And then I realized, no wait, that's actually a full shot.
The thing about Iron Maiden is, I said this yesterday with the Nightwish.
It's unique.
Is that, it's about Nightwish, how they kind of like were doing something different, and Floor kind of stepped back a little bit. But you usually have bands that feature a virtuoso singer or a virtuoso guitar player. I think Judas Priest is another one where I'm not educated enough about Judas Priest, but it just seems to me that when you talk about Judas Priest, you're just talking about one guy. You know what I mean? Versus with Maiden, you got a crazy vocalist in Bruce Dickinson, I think his name is. But you also have a signature guitar sound that's really, really good. That if you took, like, there's some bands like if you take out the guitarist and then replace them with like a backup guitarist, like the band would still be the band. But then, you can't do that with Maiden.
No.
You can't take out the guitarist, and you definitely can't replace the singer, and it's very rare that a band has both of those. Yeah, and they have a signature sound that's not boring, at least not to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like almost all their songs are evergreen, as far as like it's written this was written in 1983. We're almost reviewing this song 37 years to the day, and it's still in the top 2% of songs that we've heard in 2020 so far.
Oh,
and I think that's the difference between like Hall of Fame level, you deserve your own place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame versus other people who are really good. It's kind of like the difference between LeBron and Jordan. Like, LeBron is great, but this is like legendary status. And I think that's where, and I don't think there's lots of bands that are in like the legendary circle. Maiden, Metallica, so obviously Sabbath, etc., etc. But anyway, enough. Go ahead. What were you thinking lyrically?
Well, I don't know if it's because I'm a Christian, but I kept making these lyrics like more of like a Christian song, where the other one was like not so much. You know what I mean? Like almost like a. We're not really satanic. If we were, we wouldn't sing this song. But again, I don't know. Maybe I was missing the whole thing. And you know how I do that, where I just kind of make the song about what I want. Like this part was super emotional to me when he got to the way that he was writing in this song. I just loved. She came to me with a serpent's kiss. As the eye of the sun rose on her lips, moonlight catches silver tears that I cry, so we lay in a black embrace, and the seed is sown in a holy place. And I watched and waited for the dawn. It's so friggin' beautiful.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Those are some Danny Filth level.
Just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So for I took that, like, maybe this song is about a man and a woman and the stuff that's gone on with them, but to me, she came to me with a serpent's kiss. It was Adam, like in the book of Genesis, Adam and Eve came to him because Eve had her experience with Satan first, or the serpent first, and she took a fruit and she ate it, and then she came and brought it to Adam. So she came to me with a serpent's kiss. It was like that, like that kind of like that betrayal, that, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he says, as the eye of the sun rose on her lips, and that to me was just like dawn was on its way. But moonlight catches silver tears that I cry, like, because like dawn was rising on her lips, but at the same time, like, it was still like the moon was still there, and it was catching, like, he was crying because when Adam and Eve fell, like, there was obviously a brokenness that happened between the two of them, and they were never going to relate in the same way that they did, which I don't think that any couple on the face of the planet can even to that degree understand what that's like. I think that lots of people to a lesser degree do, because I think that, when you first get together, you're always looking for the best in the other person, and you guys kind of come together and everything's really good and it's fun and it's whatever. But then as time progresses, like, we're watching a show right now and you can see, like, the husband and the wife, they're very separated from each other.
No idea why those people are still together.
Yeah, well,
very strange.
I think it's,
yeah,
I think it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, it is kind of obvious.
But anyway, so, as time progresses, more of the separation happens. And so to me, it was that. Can you go back to those lyrics that I was talking about? Okay. And then, so we lay in a black embrace, to me was, because they went and they hid themselves in the Genesis story. They go and they hide themselves from God, and then God comes down. And so that was like, we lay in a black embrace, like the black embrace, which I just friggin' love the sound of that. But it was, bad had then come into their world because of what they did, but they were still raised. But then it said the seed is sown in a holy place, and I watched and I waited for the dawn. That to me, I really do not think that this is what he's saying in the song. Just really what it meant to me. The seed is sown in a holy place, because when Adam and Eve sinned against God, and they knew, like, God had told them, like, because of that, death was going to come into the world, and then they were going to be sent out of the garden, like, everything was really, really bad, and then God came, and he never had confronted them on anything because they had never done anything wrong. And so that feeling that you get when you're confronted about something and you don't like that conversation, and it's very, and there was no escaping it because they knew that they were dead wrong and he was completely right. And so that whole thing is happening. But then God tells Eve that from her womb was going to come someone that was going to crush the head of the serpent. So at this moment, they're hating the serpent because of what he did and how he deceived them and, deceived Eve and stuff. But he said, like, from Eve was going to come someone that was going to be able to crush the head of the serpent. But in the meantime was going to get his heel bit, which was, he was going to get hurt in the process, which was a prophecy about Jesus that was going to happen, years and years later. But so a seed is sown in the holy place. And so seed to me was a double, because there's a seed of hope that was sown in the holy place, and the holy place was Eden. And then it was also a seed is sown in a holy place, as in the seed that was going to be in her womb that was going to birth the next child, and then the next one and the next one, until finally it was going to bring about the Holy One, Jesus. And I watched and waited for the dawn was, yes, the sun was rising on Eden, but it was also, there was a dawn coming, because they were not going to stay just in a black embrace, but they were going to, a dawn was going to arise because Jesus was going to come. So, but I really don't think that's what he was saying. I'm just telling you, that's what it meant to me.
Well, I'm not particularly certain as to how... I'm not particularly certain that you're actually wrong, although I assumed this was about the Antichrist, because it says... Revelation, and usually when people think about Revelation, due to a very, very modern version of theology, instead of Revelation being about Jesus, most people are looking at Revelation to look at the Antichrist. Which is very interesting, because
you're right.
The opening line of the book of Revelation is the revelation of Jesus Christ. What the book of Revelation was supposed to reveal was Jesus, but because of a certain strain of theology, now the only thing that it's supposedly revealing is the Antichrist. So it was because of that, like, I kind of had the...
You know what I think adds into that, too, is that because of that strand of thinking of how Revelation is supposed to be, like how it's interpreted, it's very, like, mysterious, and, like, when it says soon, it doesn't actually mean soon, and when it says, like, everything gets, like, turned into something else, so it kind of creates this mystery mixed with horror and terror and excitement and fear, and it like compiles everything into. Although then you miss the entire point of like the revelation of Jesus, because it's all about, oh my gosh, and there's so much to not understand if you're completely misunderstanding the book. Or misinterpreting it.
Yeah, like I've met people that are afraid to read Revelation. They
won't touch it. And I know some people that won't touch anything in the Bible but Revelation.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting.
It's also interesting because people call it the book of Revelations all the time, and I'm like, I hate that. It's Revelation, not Revelation.
I know when you called the song Revelation instead of Revelations.
I did, I corrected.
I felt like it was
it's because like
stake in the ground.
It's because if you say it in the singular, that means that the book is ultimately only about a single thing, which is Jesus. But if you don't, then it becomes all these other revelations.
Yeah.
The intro was good. O God of earth and altar, bow down, hear our cry, our earthly rulers falter, our people drift and die, the walls of gold entomb us, the swords of scorn divide, take not thy thunder from us, take away our pride.
I know, that was really weird to hear them saying that.
That's my guy that wrote Orthodoxy, Catholic, well he converted, G.K. Chesterton. This poem right here is this is a...
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm like, how did this man get this
Yeah,
okay.
So G.K. Chesterton was, so he's got this book called Orthodoxy. You know when I talk about the kids feel safer when there's barriers around the mountain, then that was him doing
Yeah.
He was like C.S. Lewis brilliant, like Lewis, like, you know.
Okay.
And so this intro was really interesting because of, it's pretty beautiful, bow down and hear our cry, which is interesting because in order for God to hear us, he has to, at some level, bow down or condescend to come from the third heaven because he's so transcendent, and that was the idea. The walls of gold entomb us, which is, you know, I think it's
materialism.
Chesterton, is considering the materialism of the Western world. That line, take not thy thunder from us, but take away our pride, is really interesting. Because thunder is supposed to scare you, and he's got fear on the one side and pride on the other side, and he says, well, I'll take this over pride. If that'll take away our pride and make us function the way we're supposed to, then go ahead and do it. So that kind of sets the tone for the song, and then it goes down.
Wait, what? Take not your thunder from us.
Take away our pride. Right, so the God's thunder usually is a fear-inducing thing, right? But what he's saying is, if you take away the thunder, which makes me uncomfortable, then we're gonna stay in pride. So
humble yourself and
right. So what he's saying is, we need the thunder, we need the constant reminders of our mortality to take away our pride, which is
that's so interesting. That is not how I took those lines.
Which is. Well, I've been reading Chesterton for years, but I mean, it's poetry, so you can always.
When he said "Take not thy thunder from us," I thought he meant like don't turn yourself away from us or turn away your greatness from us, like the power and like don't take that away from us. Instead, just take away our pride, because you know how I can't think of a specific story right now, but if God acts on someone's behalf for an extended period, then they start like getting haughty about it. You know what I mean? Like maybe you could use that guy at the beginning of the Bible as an example. He was like, oh well, instead of being like, what Cain did in killing his brother was really terrible, God protected Cain after that. So then he goes on to say, well, if he protected him that much for doing this, wait till I do this, this, and this, and see what God's gonna do for me. Right. You know, like, so I took it as, you know, take away our pride so that way we can still have your thunder and your power without it becoming about us, so we can still know that it's about you.
Yeah, I don't think the thunder here is a positive thing, because if you look at the context, there's materialism, we're scorning each other and prideful, you know, whatever. And so I think the thunder there functions to wake us up out of materialism and our harsh treatment of each other. And I think there, like I said, thunder over there, pride over there. But it's poetry, it's subjective. But I mean, it's one of the things where sometimes I always marvel at how we have such a hard time learning the lesson. I think this COVID thing, to some degree, has done that. You know, where it's like the mightiest nation on the planet and the most developed civilization, I'm not just talking about America, but the Western world, is completely undone by this microscopic, you know, whatever. So wise people will take into account what this all means. Be wise. So I agree with you as far as like the Adam and Eve angle, but I think it detours and it's talking about the Antichrist, which would make the Antichrist mother a sort of antitype of Eve, right? So Eve gives birth to Jesus Christ, and then the Antichrist mother would be giving birth to him. So when verse 2 comes around, I think that that's speaking from the perspective of the guy who impregnates the Antichrist's mom. And again, the only reason I'm saying Antichrist is because it says Revelations.
Yeah.
And then if you go down here, the light of the blind, you'll see the venom tears my spine, the eyes of the Nile opening, you'll see.
What is it, the eyes of the Nile?
Yeah, I think he also talked about, like, up here when he talked about the secret of the hangman, the smile on his lips.
Yeah, that one I didn't understand either.
I was in a summer camp one time, and then we had they had this like themed thing going. It was like Knights of the Round Table or something like that. And we had to make this giant trek, and then you had to see the Oracle. It's this girl doing tarot cards or whatever. And of course, my mom would have flipped out if she'd have known that we did that.
Well, gosh, I wouldn't have even gone in there.
So anyway, I did it, and one of them was a hangman. And the guy was like smiling and stuff and all the rest of it.
Really?
Yeah, I said, well, what's that? And she said, oh, we gotta redo your
Oh my gosh!
I probably should have took some. It's probably going to be prepared for the next couple of years of my life.
Oh my gosh!
So that's the only thing I had to think about. But it says.
Frank, why wouldn't you take that card out when you're doing with kids?
I have no idea. I had no idea. It was I was 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade. So I don't know, 13, 14, maybe Dorian's age.
Oh my gosh!
I said, "What's that supposed to be?" And my friend Ramel was like, "Yo, you're gonna get shot, bro." So there you go. Shout out to Ramel. Thanks, buddy. So yeah, just a babe in a black
and he
abyss.
was smiling?
Yeah, he was upside down. He's smiling. Yeah. So.
Oh, he wasn't being hanged by his neck.
Well, I thought he was. All I saw was hangman's something, and then or a hanged man.
With children.
I mean,
unless she really believed in the cards and she thought it was going to bring good things for you guys.
I don't think she. Yeah, she was playing a role. I don't know. But hey, I mean, you can't take the cards out. You know what I mean?
And probably
she just reshuffled the deck. Like, oh,
what do you mean you can't take the cards out?
She's like, oh, look, you've got, and then she took my hand. You've got a very long lifeline, and you're gonna be rich, and da 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 da. I'm like, whatever, bitch. You just said I'm gonna get shot.
And the thing is, your mind is so like visual and pick up on details that within those seconds you saw the man was smiling.
100%, 100. It was there literally for about a second and a half, and she was like, her eyes got big. Read this tribute. I don't know. Shout out to the big homie. She's trying to be nice. But again, a babe in a black abyss. Reason for a place like this: the walls are cold and souls cry out in pain, which is interesting because he talks about the wall of gold. So if it was a wall of gold, it would be no easy way for the blind to go, a clever path of the fools who know. So that's the other thing. Like, if this is the Antichrist, is there a sense in which he could be? And for full disclosure, I don't believe that there's going to be like some final Antichrist figure, at least not in the way that he's portrayed. Let me say it that way. I think the Antichrist or the beast that is being talked about in Revelation is a guy who was around about 2,000 years ago and has nothing to do with the modern day. But that's neither here nor there. But I asked myself, like, I wonder if there was an Antichrist type figure, would he feel that what he's doing is for the betterment of humanity? Like, would he feel that what he's doing is like correcting a wrong? Maybe he thinks, like, you see how like these bands, so many of these bands, and you see the memes like, what if the whole thing is wrong and Lucifer's a good guy and we're the bad guy and God was the bad guy? So like, if you have that perspective, then does the Antichrist believe that he's wrong, or does he believe?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
That God and Christianity and religion are the cause of human suffering.
I always thought the Antichrist knew what he was doing, and that he was working for the devil, and he was so heavily influenced that.
But again, if you think the devil's a good guy, that wouldn't.
No, I didn't think that he thought the devil was a good guy. So that was just always from how it was portrayed.
Yeah, I'm just
like he always looked like a.
I'm just experimenting. Like maybe what if the guy thinks, hey, I'm a gonna liberate humanity from all this craziness, right? Like, I'm gonna make sure that humanity is, because he's talking about we're all suffering, yada yada, and you know, the problem of evil, why do bad things happen to good people, is sort of a universal question whenever you talk about God. And so maybe he's looking at all this and going, you're doing a piss poor job, and me and the devil are gonna do a better job than you. And then, you know, so in that sense, he would kind of be a tragic figure. You know what I mean? So that was kind of like my thought process, you know, that maybe he thinks he's doing it for the good of humanity.
Okay, I found the toy. I'm sorry.
Well, I knew it was He-Man.
Okay, why didn't you just say it?
Well, I'm pretty sure you said He-Man.
No, I didn't say He-Man. I had no clue what I was trying to say.
Who did you say it was?
I said Hercules type of character. Look, he even has bangs, and that guy had bangs, and he's got the blonde hair, just like...
He-Man was, my mom was like half gonna ban us from that show. Because I think there is this thing called like the Source or something like that, where he would go and it was kind of like a magical thing that would give him powers and stuff.
There's no way in the world I'd have been able to watch
my mom was like, there's only one source of power, you know. And that's Jesus. So
I think that's a better. My parents, you know, I would have been thinking we were gonna get like some kind of demon from.
She kind of allowed it, but she didn't allow the trolls. You know, the little trolls.
Oh my gosh! I always wanted to touch their hair.
Yeah.
Don't touch their hair. Don't touch the jewel. Don't touch them at all.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought was gonna happen if you touched a troll, but I had no interest in making any wishes. I just wanted to stroke its hair because it looked so soft.
Well, the problem that my mom had was a little jewel that he had in his
the belly. You're supposed to make a wish off it.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to rub the jewel, or you could stroke the hair and make a wish.
Some guy went to our church and said a bunch of, you know, I don't know. Pentecostals are not really known for. Anyway, let me not diss my spiritual heritage.
Okay. Anyway,
what do you give the song?
Back to what you were saying. Oh, it's a 9. I'm going actually between a 9.9 and a 10.
Okay.
Because I really, really, really liked it, and when I think about it, I'm like, well, what could it have made it a 10? I don't know.
Very good question. I'm gonna give this a straight, solid 9 because I wish the song was a little bit longer.
Oh no, I thought it was perfect. So it's a 10. It's a 10 for me.
All right, there you go.
And I don't understand. Like, I looked this song up, and it didn't have like millions of views. It didn't seem like it was one of the more popular songs of theirs, and I'm surprised.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me know in the comment section why you think that this one wasn't that popular.
They probably have such a vast catalog, and they have so many like really good songs. It's kind of like.
And what was on his belt? You were trying to point that out to me. I got.
Well,
what
it
is that?
just looks very big. It's like a very big belt.
Very big belt.
You know, when I was in Florida, the kids used to the country guys used to wear these giant.
Oh yeah.
And this is very strange to me because I remember like before we hit, because we were in, you know, like elementary school, and then we went to junior high school. And so in elementary school, this kid Travis was just a regular t-shirt and jean guy, and then when we went to Southwest Junior High School, he then transformed into this you know, he had the hat, the whole 9 yards. I'm like, yo, Travis, what's the deal, man?
Was he embarrassed when you said that?
No, because there was just a whole crew of them. You know, so I was just like, you know,
you can't stay the same way forever.
Whatever. That's true. There you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.